Anyway, we're going through this Douglas Fastnet slash Douglas Electric Cooperative rural broadband experiment out here in Douglas County, Oregon. And they got $24 million from the Federal Communications Commission to proceed with this experiment. And it is fully and wholly called an experiment. And the citizens of Douglas County that are in this rural areas are part of an experiment. And I'm not really positive that everybody knows about that. And just the word, the experiment. I would think that if everybody was going to be in part of an experiment, they probably should have mailed everybody a personal letter instead of just broad splashing it in one newspaper, the News Review, for a brief, one issue that they were going to have a meeting on, or that they were going to be doing anything like this. So anyway, when you pay your bill for DFN or your Douglas Electric Cooperative bill, don't forget that that's not the only time you're paying those guys, because you can divide $24 million up amongst all the tax-paying citizens of Douglas County, and you're also giving that to DFN so that they can come out and put little cell pods everywhere. And apparently, I'm not sure how it works, but these cell pods are, I would imagine it has something like with the new application that they have, where the neighbor watch app or whatever, where you have a doorbell camera. I just seen some stuff on that, and anything that's Wi-Fi and broadcasting right now, like my phone. Once it gets past a certain spot, it's apparently pretty easy to tap into that kind of stuff, and you can go to XDA developers or GitHub and read all about that if you're into programming. But it's all offered, and I think it's called freeware, and it's open sourceware, I think is what it is, and everything that's on the computer is open source. Now, the idea behind all of that is that you can go one of two ways with it. You can either go and do good stuff, or you can just be a complete prick and screw your neighbors over, or steal identities, or you can be the authorities and you can be doing it off in the shadows, in the background, or at a distance. But last time I checked, the definition of the the United States definition, as far as a TR-ism goes, is people that are really chicken and they hide off in the shadows, and they initiate their agendas without being seen and run off like cowards. I understand that. I grew up Gulf Storm, all through Afghanistan and all that stuff. And those are the guys they're calling the terrorists. And that's their definition of a terrorist, is people that hide in the shadows and chicken, and they're afraid and they're cowards. So let me ask you this. If they're doing a rural broadband experiment, and they're off in the shadows, and they're doing this up in the woods and up in the hills, and they're not letting anybody know, and they're coming by and they're invading privacy just by proxy, because they've got permission from the FCC to do it. It all has to do with emergency communication as well. And I understand, and it's not a bad thing to have everybody have a phone that they can call 911 with, as long as when you call 911, you don't get put on hold. And they can actually help you out or get there before something bad happens to you. If you can't take care of yourself, you probably shouldn't live in a place where you're going to have to, which is just about everywhere. Use good discernment, give everything due diligence, and I would really surely like an explanation for some of this stuff. Let's see if I can get this other thing going here. These phones, they don't go anywhere, basically. I just stay home, and because I don't like to have distracted driving. Let's just see what's going on here. Oh, I'll try to get the speedometer. Whoops. Let's probably get the speedometer going here, because it'll usually register as I'm going somewhere fast, and I'm just sitting right here. And for some reason, my other hang on, I gotta get a different address to go to. Let's go to work. There we go. Okay. Watch the speedometer. sure. I always put slow down because there's log trucks out here and the dogs are out there and there's kids out there. And, you know, those guys just come whipping around the corner all the time, and you don't want anybody getting hurt. So, obviously it's not going to do it just because I'm recording right now. I did this and I did like a 5-minute recording on it, and then of course I had a problem with the recording, so I'll just keep going here. I don't know, I keep getting the wrong place. Let's go to let's see. Let's go to gotcha. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna start. I really want to show you that miles per hour thing if I can. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do it. Oh, there we go. So tell me, how's that happen when my phone's sitting on a table? I'm not going 9 miles an hour right now. I'm sitting on my freaking couch in my living room in the air conditioning. So is there anybody out here that can explain that to me? Could you please comment on this video and let me know? Because I'm gonna go ahead and post up the whole entire application to the Douglas County court system from the lawyer in Olympia, Washington, on behalf of Douglas Fastnet, aka fully subsidiary of Douglas Electric Cooperative, and I invite everybody to read the language in it. And even if you don't understand court documents, you can still understand language where it says it's an experiment and everybody in rural Douglas County is part of an experiment, and nobody else has ever talked about it. I've never heard anybody say, hey, you know we're part of an experiment out here? Well, what are they doing? I don't know. Apparently they don't want a lot of people talking about it though. But you know, I really don't care. It's just a curiosity of mine. Anyway, if anybody's got any ideas on this, man, it's funny. It's funny to me anyway. I think this is probably some of the cheapest entertainment I've ever had with electronics in my life. I'm so glad that it's not 25 cents a shot like it was when I was playing Asteroids and Donkey Kong. But I'm kind of nerdy that way, and I'll sit on here and I'll do this all day long. But I'm just kind of curious, you know, because I know it's not the accelerometer in the phone if it's sitting on a table. You know, let's restart the nav and see what happens here. That's what's going on. Pretty sure that's what I hit. They get pretty excited with me, I think. Or they, I don't know who they is, but so we'll continue the nav, restart. We'll restart? There we go. Okay, let's try to get the mile per hour up again. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now, see, you're not even giving me a... Oh, there it is. And this is on a table on my floor. And it shows me going at 11 and 10 miles an hour. Now, my assumption here is that it's probably a drone. I don't know that they can measure a 4 or 5G signal shooting from one tower to another at that rate. And if they're only going that fast, I don't think that's probably has anything to do with any kind of signal, because the signal goes way, way faster than that. I'm pretty darn sure. At any rate, I'm going to cut it short, you know, before it gets over too long, because I know anybody on YouTube, they don't have a very long attention span. So, you know, I'm right in there with that too. All right, let's see how this flies. Let's see what happens. And if I get good response, then I'll go ahead, and if everybody's really curious, I'll just go ahead and lay everything out as far as the documentation that was provided to the Douglas County courts on behalf of DFN here in Douglas County through a lawyer in Olympia, Washington, for the application to the FCC for the rural broadband experiment that they were approved of in, I think, 2015, and received $24 million. So like I said, when you pay your bill for your DFN wireless and your Douglas County Electric, don't forget you are also paying for it in taxes. Just like when you go to Walmart and buy stuff, they are subsidized by the federal government. The cheap stuff is because you're already paying for it through your taxes. And if you're not, somebody else is. So, but I digress. I hope you see this, Richie. I hope you see this, Brian, on High Impact, and see what you think about that. There's something else going on. You know, And this is local, so, keep it local, guys, man. You're advertising for everybody else. You say that CNN and everybody's liars, and all right, there is no such thing as bad press, you guys, and you are giving them all the press they need. And I think that they need a little less attention. But that's just what I think. Anyway, everybody be well.